Hello everyone, Nina here. Thanks for joining me today. Today I'm going to share with you the second part of the 3-tag journals that we started creating last week. In part 1 that we shared last week, I'm gonna leave it linked on the top right corner. We did finish the background. We used one stencil to create 3 tags using 3 different techniques. Today we are going to add our focal elements on top of these backgrounds. I inked all around the edges with my ink blender, and I am going to use all my booklets from Art by Marlene. I used all my collection. I think I have 5 or 6 booklets. We're gonna cut a lot of images from these booklets, which are going to be our focal elements that we're going to add on top of these backgrounds. The elements are very easy to pop out. They are just ready for you. You don't have to cut or anything. See how easy it is to pop out? I chose some of them that I thought I might use today. They match with my background colors. I'm gonna leave all these booklets linked down below. So let's begin with our focal elements. For our first scene, we are going to create a beautiful lighthouse scene. I'm going to use my Vintage Photo Distress ink, and with the blender I'm going to blend all around the edges of all the images. I'm gonna prep them before time so I do save some time from the video. So because some of the elements are going to be blue, I wanted them to show against the background. My idea was that I put the lighthouse behind the waves and then the boat within the waves. But when I started assembling my card, my tag the way I wanted it to be, I found that everything did blend together and it's all blue and they need something to separate them from each other. I came up with this idea. I thought I'm going to add a white paper that I did cut just with my hand and just random, nothing specific, no proper border cutting with die cutting or anything. It's just something that I did cut with my hand, and I did place it over here. It did make a difference. See, when I'm going to put the wave, they are showing against each other, but then I thought that the paper was too white and the scene started becoming vintage since I added the vintage photo, and I thought it needed a little brown to match with it. So I did cut another border again with my hand, and I did blend it with vintage photo. It was just a scrap of paper that I found on my desk, so I made use of it. And then I'm going to place it between the waves and between the white scrap. So this sort of gives the tag the vintage look, and again separates the blue elements from each other. So when I assemble everything on top of each other, see, it looks more interesting and more pleasing to the eye. And then again, I'm going to place my boat within the waves. Look how the scene became more beautiful here. I am so happy with how it ended looking. Then I'm going to start gluing my elements to my tag background. Here I'm going to directly glue the lighthouse to the tag, and I'm gonna leave the red part below showing, the striped red part below of the lighthouse showing. And then once I am happy with how I place it, I'm going to press and attach it to the background. Here again, I'm going to take the white border that I just cut, and I'm going again to glue it directly on the background, so the lighthouse will look like it's behind it. So the sort of, this is the scene that is taken sort of from the ocean. So you're seeing the boat, the waves of the ocean, and then the sand, and then the lighthouse. I'm going to remove the part that is hanging out from the tag just with my little scissors. By the way, all the materials and the tools that I'm going to use today are going to be linked down below in the description if you want to check them. I did place everything in place, and then I decided not to move anything since I liked so much how it looked so far. So I'm going to press on one side and glue the different layers of the other side. And then I did rotate it and did the same thing on the other side. I found it way simpler that way. There we go. Then we're going to attach the little boat. Now the boat is going to be among the layers, and it is going to need a little more papers under it so it is flat and not hanging in the air. Look how beautiful everything looks. And the white and the brown scrap of papers did sort of separate all the blues from each other, since the colors of the boat were also blue, just like the lighthouse. You can also bring your acrylic markers, fine tip acrylic markers, and color the sails of the boat to give it a different color from the lighthouse. So here I'm bringing my white gel pen, and I'm going to add some lines here and there just to give some shine to my focal elements. I'm going to use it on the boat and on the lighthouse on one side, so it looks like it's shining only from one side where the light is coming. Also on the waves, I'm going to give it some white color to lighten up the dark blue of the waves. It's little touches, but adds a lot to your project. Look how beautiful everything is. So onto our second tag, I am going to again bring my vintage photo distress ink, and I'm gonna blend all the edges all around my tiny little elements. The biggest house here actually did have this dome attached to it, but it was a little the dome was not centered in the middle of the house, and for this project I felt that it needs to be in the middle of the house, so I did separate the dome from the house, and I did back the house with a foam tape and the dome as well. And these elements I wanted to give different dimensions, so the smaller houses I did just attach a scrap of paper, so they're a little raised from the background, but they are still not as raised as the biggest house, which is going to be raised with the foam tape behind. Now I'm starting to assemble my scene. I want it to look like a little village. I mixed and matched different colors of the houses. Over here I did add this little pink color to match my biggest house, because the original color of the small house was red. So I did add this little pink part that I cut from another house so it can match the bigger house. I am going to remove the foam tape from behind, and then I'm going to attach it to my house. The main idea over here, I wanted to say something like stay home and craft for the coat, but then let's see how I'm gonna change it by the end. So that's why I was creating the village. Here the hanging part of the house, I did remove it, and again I found that it left a white border, so I wanted to match with the rest of the images. I did ink blend it as well. Again, here I'm removing the foam tape from behind my dome, and then I am going to attach it, center it on top of the house, and add the little smaller domes on each side of the houses. Look how beautiful it is, and can you notice the dimension? Such beautiful image and with bright colors. And I'm going to add some trees, a little more houses, until I'm happy with how my images look like together. Now for the last tag, I am again bringing the waves that we used before. Remember, you have 2 images from each element, 2 copies, and then to make all the tags match together, again, I'm using vintage photo to go ink blend around all the image. The boat and the wave, I want them to be a little raised from the rest of the elements, so I'm going to again add foam tape behind, and then I'm going to attach it on my tag, on my background. Look how beautiful the colors are. Look how beautiful the texture on the tag. Such beautiful image, very inspiring. I did bring 2 of my cutouts. These are starfish, and I did place it and then I'm going to level it with the rest of the image, adding few pieces of the foam tape behind the star. I used pink over here so it does pop against the blue and the brown of the boat. Look how beautiful it looks. So pretty. I love it. Here all the tags are ready. I just need to add the quotes. I was going to first start using these quotes from the booklets again from Art by Marlene collection. I usually would add it on this scrap of white paper and then cut all around it so it does have a beautiful frame all around it so it doesn't just get lost in the background. So I did cut this and I'm gonna cut another one that I'm going to add later with the lighthouse. I did cut this one but I'm not going to use it. As I was cutting, I just came up with another idea. I wanted the coat to show more. I wanted it to be bigger. So I did bring my stamps and I had a stamp set that has block letters. They're quite bigger and I'm going to use them to make my coat stand more. So I'm going to use my Versafine ink. This is a pigment ink and I did add the word tribe with the stamps letter by letter next to each other, and then it was easier for me to make sure where I want to place the where I exactly want to stamp. So I did place all the stamps next to each other. These are rubber stamps. I think this set is already discontinued, but if I find it or something similar to it, I'm going to link it down below. Because the texture was not flat or smooth, it did have a rough surface, so the stamping was not complete. I did have to bring my black gel pen and fill in the white spaces. Over here, I thought I'm going to stamp the word explore outside because I wanted the letters to be crooked, not just next to each other, for a more fun look since the boat looks a little whimsical and sort of tilted to one side. I thought the word explore should tilt as well. So I did stamp it on a piece of paper and then cut them and place them how I wanted so I can easily remove the paper and stamp where it was. I loved so much the one that said tribe that I decided to add a little decorations or elements or something that looked more tribal. As I started with the black fine tip acrylic marker, I'm gonna link it also down below. I thought, oh my god, this looks so pretty and I should better match it with the house. So I did come again over the black and I did color with my acrylic fine tip markers with the pink and the reds and the greens and the yellow that are down below in the house. You will see it in the images how I did change the colors. I did color over the color decorations. Then I added the word love your, so it would read love your tribe. See over here, I did add the colors on top around the word tribe. And then I'm bringing again my black acrylic marker to make the elements and the houses pop more. Look what difference it makes. It makes the images pop against each other and it looks just so beautiful. This is the one that I was telling you about. I did bring another coat and I did back it with the white scrap and attach it directly to the tag. And to finish all the tags, I did bring my crocodile and I'm going to bring my eyelets collection. I find this way of storing my eyelets in this little box that is divided into smaller sections the easiest way so I can see all my collection. I'm gonna link, I got these boxes from Amazon. I'm gonna link it down below also if you want to get one. And then I did try many colors until I found the matching color with my tag, and I'm gonna place it and attach it with my crocodile. Look how beautiful it is. I think I'm gonna attach red for all of them. Yeah. It just looks so nice against the blue. Look how beautiful everything is. I loved so much this project, the pop of color, the dimensions, the images themselves are so amazing. I loved it so much. at the end when I finished, I found out that the tags that has the lighthouse and the other tag that has the boats, they match together, and I should continue something that is more of the sea or ocean theme. And the one that is tribal does not really match with them. It's a different vibe. It's more tribal, more, I don't know, it's a different vibe. And I thought I'll also want to continue another tag journal full of the tribal one, because I have a lot of these houses from the collection Arabian Nights from Art by Marlene that will allow me to create a lot of tag pages to have one tag journal. I had so much fun creating these tags with you guys too. I hope I inspired you somehow. Please don't forget to like and subscribe. Thank you so much for joining me today and watching, and thank you for all your support. I will see you all next time. Bye!